Hi everyone, it's time for a mental health moment. This is an idea that came from my rating in Star Wars The Old Republic, and I wanted to share it with you. Whether you're my audience from Twitch or my students in my classroom, we're going to talk about relationship triangles. Now this is something that's especially damaging because what happens is a triangle is when two people that should be communicating in a linear two-way fashion bring in a third person and start sending messages through that person to the other party. This is a dangerous thing in families, in couples, in friendships, but also in raid teams. So there is a video game life component to this too. It's really important for people to be supportive, understanding, open, honest, and assertive in their communications instead of blaming, toxic, negative, and cowardly. When you're sending important comments and insights through a third party to the person, it's usually because you're afraid of the way they will receive it. And over time, this can become something that you naturally do. So it's really important to notice, am I bringing in that third party? Am I triangulating? And if you are, to make your efforts to build up the courage, build up that kindness to have the conversations and face it head on. And then the two people who need to be communicating will start communicating. From a fandom perspective, we see a lot of relationship triangle kinds of things in the movie Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith in Star Wars. Anakin is trying so hard early in that film to make everyone happy and to get what he wants. And those two goals do not go together very well. And so the Chancellor, Palpatine, ends up being a point where messages that should be sent between the office of the Chancellor to the Jedi Order are now being triangulated to Anakin. And then the mistake the Jedi Order makes is they start triangulating Anakin as well. And so now Anakin loses his agency and he stops being a person that has his own ability to make decisions that are healthy. And so he's pushed into this box where all of his decisions have strings attached and potentially lead to an unhealthy reality. And so the end game of Revenge of the Sith is actually, from a certain point of view, the outcome. It's a cautionary tale of how terrible relationship triangles actually are. So if you're doing this to other people and bringing them into your business to deliver messages for you, I would encourage you to, why am I afraid? How can I develop the courage? Is the worst case scenario of me having this conversation person to person with my message recipient really that dangerous? And then have the conversation. Even if it goes poorly, that's a better reality than ruining the third person that's brought into it for no reason. And if you are that third person, we have a word called triangulation. And that is where you have the right to say, I'm not going to deliver that message. This is something that really the two of you need to talk about. And again, sometimes this has to happen in order for raid teams, couples, intimate relationships, and families to be healthy. After all, we see what happened to Anakin Skywalker and the Jedi Order, and that's not ultimately what we would want for anyone that we're trying to care about and defeat bosses with. That's the mental health moment, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're my students or my Twitch audience, this is for you. Remember, continue the journey.